Welcome to this topic, soil health and regenerative agriculture. In this course, we will explore the green skills in soil management, the critical soil functions, the prominent soil types in wine-growing regions, and the impact of viticultural practices on soil sustainability. Moreover, we will look into soil health definitions, key biological, chemical, and physical aspects of soil health in viticulture. Next, we will get familiar with the regenerative agriculture and its principles. Lastly, we will see some practical soil management techniques and soil biodiversity and soil conservation issues. Over 60% of soils in the EU are unhealthy, according to the European Soil Observatory. Degradation is widespread, with some soils facing up to 4 types of damage at once. For viticulture, this is a serious threat. Healthy soil is essential for vine growth, grape quality, and long-term sustainability. That's why we need green skills, practical knowledge in soil care, like composting, cover cropping, and reducing tillage. Green skills don't just protect soil. They restore it, ensuring our vineyards and our planet have a future. Soil is far more than just the ground we walk on. It's a living system with critical functions that support agriculture, ecosystems, and the climate. Healthy soil supports high crop yields and quality, helping farmers grow more and better food. It exhibits efficient water infiltration and storage, reducing runoff and drought stress. It also retains and efficiently recycles nutrients, supplying them in alignment with crop needs. Soil acts as a carbon reservoir, helping store carbon and reduce greenhouse gas emissions, a key role in climate mitigation. And perhaps most importantly, healthy soil fosters a thriving community of diverse microorganisms, life forms that drive nutrient cycling, disease resistance, and plant growth. These functions aren't optional, they're vital. And when soil is degraded, we lose all of them. Understanding and protecting these critical functions is the first step in building a more sustainable future in farming and beyond. When it comes to wine, the secret isn't just in the grape, it's in the soil. Different soil types create different growing conditions, influencing everything from vine health to grape flavor. This is what we call terroir, the unique fingerprint of a place, shaped by its soil, climate, and landscape. In wine-growing regions across the world, you'll find a rich variety of soils. Granitic, known for good drainage. Sandy, which warms quickly and produces elegant wines. Limestone, often linked to high acidity and structure. Alluvial soils, found in river valleys, bring fertility and variety. Clay, which retains moisture and gives power to the wine. Schist, volcanic, and slate soils contribute minerality and complexity. Loess and chalk offer fine textures and excellent water balance. Each soil type plays a part in crafting the wine's unique taste, structure, and aroma. Unique terroir creates unique wines. Understanding these soil types isn't just fascinating. It's essential for vineyard planning, grape selection, and sustainable management. Not all vineyard practices are created equal, especially when it comes to soil sustainability. Research shows that conventional practices, such as tillage, bare soil, and mineral fertilization, tend to degrade soil biology. These methods often reduce microbial diversity, lower biological activity, and disrupt soil structure. On the other hand, more sustainable approaches, like using cover crops, organic fertilizers, and pruning wood inputs, foster healthier soils. According to a study, systems using organic and biodynamic methods show greater microbial diversity, abundance, and enzyme activity compared to conventional vineyards. In short, some pros are that organic matter and biodiversity-friendly inputs build it back up, and some cons are that bare soil and synthetic inputs harm soil life. By making informed decisions in the vineyard, we can shift from soil depletion to soil regeneration, protecting both the environment and the future of wine. Soil is alive, and what we do in the vineyard directly affects its biological quality. Let's break down how common viticultural practices influence life beneath the surface. Mechanical practices, like tillage, often have a detrimental impact on soil organisms, disrupting habitat and food webs. Phytosanitary treatments, including chemical weeding and copper use, show variable effects. In some cases, they suppress beneficial soil life, while in others, the impact is minimal. When it comes to fertilization, the type matters. Organic amendments, prunings, and biochar can bring benefits to soil health, feeding microbes, improving structure, and boosting resilience. Soil cover is one of the most beneficial strategies. Whether it's temporary or permanent, natural or sown, using mulch or diverse plant covers, it consistently supports soil biodiversity and stability. The takeaway? Not all practices are equal, and the biological quality of soil depends on the choices we make in the vineyard. When we manage soils with care, we don't just grow better grapes, we regenerate the ecosystem from the ground up. What is soil health and why does it matter? According to the European Commission's 2023 proposal for a directive on soil monitoring and resilience, soil health is the physical, chemical, and biological condition of the soil, determining its capacity to function as a vital living system and to provide ecosystem services beneficial to humanity. In simple terms, healthy soil isn't just dirt. It's a living ecosystem that supports food production, filters water, stores carbon, and sustains biodiversity. But there's a problem. As this map shows, 63% of soils in Europe are unhealthy, suffering from multiple forms of degradation, from erosion and compaction to contamination and sealing. Agricultural soils are among the most affected, with over 62% considered degraded. This is a wake-up call. If we want resilient ecosystems, sustainable agriculture, and food security, we need to monitor, protect, and restore soil health starting now. The use of sustainable soil management practices is becoming common in wine-growing regions around the world in response to an increased awareness of the value of soil health to maintain environmental quality, crop yield, and grape quality. Other references mention that a healthy soil is one with a continued capacity to function within its ecological boundaries to sustain productivity, maintain environmental quality, and promote plant, animal, and human health. While others mention that soil health is a container concept, which requires disaggregation to be meaningful. In other words, soil health includes many dimensions: physical, chemical, and biological, and we need to unpack these layers to understand and manage it effectively. So while soil health is a powerful concept, it's also complex. Defining it clearly helps us protect it wisely from the vineyard to the planet. Soil health is a multi-dimensional concept, and in viticulture, it directly affects vine productivity, grape quality, and long-term sustainability. We can break it down into three key aspects: biological, chemical, and physical. Let's start with the biological. This includes the diversity and abundance of microbes, earthworms, and other soil organisms. These living communities drive soil respiration, decompose organic matter, and cycle nutrients, making them essential for a living, thriving soil. Next, the chemical aspect. This refers to nutrient content, pH, cation exchange capacity, and soil organic matter. These factors influence how well vines access nutrients and how resilient the soil is to stress and degradation. Finally, the physical. Soil structure, aggregate stability, texture, water infiltration, and compaction all determine how soil functions in the field. A well-structured soil allows roots to breathe, water to flow, and vines to anchor firmly. Together, these three pillars, biological, chemical, and physical, form the foundation of soil health. And in viticulture, maintaining this balance is the key to long-term vineyard success. Let's see those three pillars in more details. Let's start with the physical. This includes how deep and stable the soil is, its slope and erosion risk, and its ability to allow air and water to move freely. These factors influence root growth, drainage, and vineyard resilience. Next, the chemical side. Chemical soil health is about pH levels, nutrient balance, and the presence of salts or toxic elements. Any excess or deficiency here can directly affect vine health and grape quality. And finally, the biological aspect. This refers to the living part of the soil, the organic matter, beneficial organisms, and the presence or absence of pests and diseases. Healthy biology means a more active, resilient, and self-regulating soil ecosystem. Together, these aspects help us understand, manage, and regenerate soils, laying the groundwork for sustainable, high-quality wine production. Let's talk about regenerative agriculture, a transformative approach that's reshaping the way we think about farming. Regenerative agriculture focuses on restoring and enhancing soil health, promotes a system of practices tailored to local conditions, and leverages ecological processes to improve the health of the entire farm. It's more than just a technique. It's a philosophy that sees soil as a living system worth regenerating. By rejuvenating the soil, regenerative agriculture enhances vineyard sustainability. making it more resilient to climate stress and better equipped to produce high-quality grapes. And the outcome? Healthier vines, better wine, and a more sustainable future for viticulture. Regenerative agriculture isn't just about improving farming practices, it's about reshaping the future of our land and communities. Its core aims are powerful and far-reaching. First, it helps us adapt to and mitigate climate change by improving soil carbon storage and reducing emissions. Second, it seeks to restore well-functioning water cycles, increasing infiltration, reducing runoff, and improving drought resilience. Third, it works to reverse biodiversity losses above and below ground by rebuilding ecosystems from the soil up. And finally, it aims to increase economic profitability by lowering input costs, improving resilience, and enhancing long-term productivity. Together, these goals support one overarching vision: the restoration of well-being and prosperity, not just for farms, but for entire rural communities. Regenerative agriculture isn't just a practice, it's a path to a more hopeful, sustainable future. Imagine a vineyard where the soil is alive, teeming with microorganisms, buzzing with biodiversity, and pulsing with underground activity. This isn't just a dream. It's the result of regenerative practices that enrich the soil rather than deplete it. By returning organic matter, minimizing disturbance, and working in harmony with nature, these methods create long-term benefits for both the environment and wine production. Because when we care for the soil, the whole vineyard thrives. Regenerative agriculture is built on 5 core principles, all designed to restore soil health and improve the resilience of farming systems, including vineyards. First, don't disturb the soil. Minimizing tillage helps protect soil structure, microbial life, and organic matter. Second, keep the soil covered. Mulch, cover crops, and plant residues shield the soil from erosion and extreme temperatures. Third, grow a diverse range of crops. Biodiversity above ground feeds biodiversity below, supporting a healthier, more balanced ecosystem. Fourth, keep living roots in the soil. Year-round root systems maintain soil biology and structure and enhance water and nutrient cycling. And fifth, integrate animals. When managed properly, livestock contribute natural fertilization and improve nutrient cycling. Together, these principles foster a living soil, one that supports healthy grapevines, enhances wine quality, and sustains the land for generations to come. Because in regenerative viticulture, healthy soil is where great wine begins. Practical soil management isn't a standalone activity, it's part of a bigger picture. These techniques are embedded into several disciplines and approaches to agriculture. They draw on insights from ecology, agroecology, and permaculture, all of which emphasize working with nature, not against it. They also support functional biodiversity, encouraging beneficial insects, microbes, and plant interactions that sustain healthy soils. And they contribute to vital ecosystem services like nutrient cycling, water filtration, and climate regulation. In modern viticulture, these practices are not just best practices. They are fully integrated into vineyard management, shaping more sustainable, productive, and resilient wine-growing systems. Good soil management goes far beyond the ground itself. It benefits the entire vineyard system. First, it helps promote the physical, chemical, and biological properties of soil, the foundation of healthy vines. It also boosts vine performance, yield, and wine quality, creating both agricultural and economic value. These practices can enhance functional biodiversity in the vineyard, supporting pollinators, natural pest control, and a balanced ecosystem. They reduce erosion and protect organic carbon in the soil, a vital factor for long-term fertility. And importantly, they can help offset greenhouse gas emissions, contributing to climate-resilient wine growing. Whether your goal is sustainability, profitability, or resilience, practical soil management is a smart investment in your vineyard's future. One of the most effective soil management techniques in viticulture is cover cropping. By maintaining continual plant and root growth, cover crops do more than just fill space. They actively improve soil structure, prevent erosion, and reduce compaction between vine rows. They also enhance biodiversity, attracting beneficial insects and supporting microbial life in the soil. As climate patterns shift, cover crops offer cooling effects, helping to buffer temperature extremes in the vineyard. and they help reduce agricultural runoff, protecting surrounding ecosystems. Cover cropping is a simple yet powerful way to regenerate soil and future-proof wine growing. Let's talk about composting, a simple yet powerful soil management technique. By recycling crop residues, food waste, and animal manure, composting builds up organic matter in the soil. This process helps rebuild depleted soils, making them more fertile and resilient. The benefits: boosted soil nutrients, improved water retention, and higher grape yields. Composting is a circular solution, turning waste into life and helping vineyards thrive from the ground up. Another powerful soil management technique in viticulture is mob grazing, the strategic use of livestock in vineyard ecosystems. This approach aids in the conversion of high-carbon residues into low-carbon organic manure, enriching the soil with nutrients in a natural, sustainable way. It also enhances nutrient cycling, moving nutrients efficiently from plant to soil, while promoting carbon sequestration, storing more carbon underground, where it benefits soil life and climate stability. Mob grazing creates natural opportunities for nutrient cycling, turning vineyard floor management into a regenerative process. Natural predators such as bats and birds contribute to vineyard pest control. Sheep and geese help manage weeds while reducing soil compaction compared to tractors. It's a smart way to let animals work for the soil and the future of sustainable wine production. Agroforestry is more than a soil technique. It's a landscape-level strategy with wide-reaching benefits. It involves altering large agricultural areas by integrating trees with crops. In vineyards, this might mean planting trees between vine rows, using forest buffers near fields and water bodies, or installing windbreaks. Practices like forest farming, riparian buffers, and inter-row cropping not only improve soil health, they also deliver environmental, social, and economic gains. By increasing shade, regulating moisture, and protecting biodiversity, agroforestry makes vineyards more resilient to extreme weather and climate change. It's a long-term investment in soil, sustainability, and the future of viticulture. Let's take a look at no-till farming, a practical soil management technique with powerful long-term benefits. By avoiding tillage, we improve soil structure, which helps reduce wind and water erosion, cut down on agricultural runoff, and even support soil carbon sequestration. Over time, no-till leads to better water penetration and retention, improved nutrient availability for crops, less soil crusting, and an increase in organic matter. The result? Healthier soil means more vigorous vines, better resilience to stress, and higher grape yields. No-till is more than a technique. It's a cornerstone of regenerative viticulture. Soil biodiversity is the backbone of healthy vineyards, but what does that actually mean? Beneath the surface lies a vast variety of life: microbes, fungi, earthworms, insects, and more. These organisms drive key soil functions. To understand their impact, the first step is simple: identify who's living in the soil. Why does it matter? Because diverse soil life helps cycle nutrients, suppress diseases, and maintain balance, all essential for vine health. This biodiversity supports sustainable grape production and contributes to the creation of high-quality wine. It even connects directly to terroir, the unique environmental character expressed in every bottle. So, if you want thriving vines and expressive wines, don't just look at the grapes, look at the life in your soil. Soil health is one of the most important assets not just for farmers, but for the whole of humanity. These words from Alfred Grand, expert at the EU CAP Network Focus Group, remind us that soil is the foundation of life. By using regenerative methods, we don't just grow food, we build ecosystems. We stabilize productivity for the long term while boosting every soil function, biodiversity, water retention, nutrient management, and carbon sequestration. Regenerative agriculture isn't just a set of practices. It's a mindset, one that helps us grow food, soil, and people in harmony with nature. Let's treat soil not as a resource to be used, but as a living ally to be nurtured. We now present a remarkable example of sustainable soil management in an organic farm located in Tuscany. Podere La Cinciol, one of the founders of the Biodistretto del Chianti Association. The philosophy of the winery is deeply rooted in collaboration, innovation, and respect for the surrounding environment. By establishing strong relationships with local institutions, technicians, and neighboring producers, the owners have managed to create a network that supports both environmental sustainability and economic resilience, knowledge, and enthusiasm, leading to continuous implementation of practices in organic farming. The following slides aim to illustrate their approach to soil management, with a particular focus on the organic practices and the preservation of biodiversity and soil vitality. Considering the nature of the soil with a relevant amount of clay, the climatic conditions, the age and the vegetative state of the vineyards, at l'essentiel, a series of successive interventions are performed in a precise order. At the end of the growing season, soil can show symptoms of compaction due to the repeated passage of machineries that occurred in the vineyards for cover crop management, pest management, and harvest. Right after harvest, in our study case estate, a pass with a subsoiler equipped with 2 anchor aerator in alternating rows is carried out to a depth of approximately 40 centimeters, specifically along the wheel tracks. This operation is crucial to remove compaction exactly where it occurred, while preserving at the same time the vitality and the roots of the cover crop. This decompaction and aeration promotes the expansion of roots toward the center of the row, ensuring greater water and nutrient self-sufficiency, as outlined in the following slide. After the soil aeration, a localized sowing is performed in the same rows, in this case with clover and barley. Localized sowing aims to improve the spontaneous grass cover in those areas where it is poorer. In order to be beneficial rather than detrimental, grass management must be adapted to seasonal dynamics. At the beginning of the vegetative period, vigorous grass development is desirable to curb vine vigor and stimulate soil biological activity. Moreover, a dense grass cover can hinder the splash dispersal of downy mildew oospores onto the canopy, potentially reducing the number of treatments needed, especially early in the season. Precisely because vineyards' health is closely tied to soil conditions, it is essential not only to maintain adequate ground cover, but also to plan an effective and sustainable nutrient management strategy. This includes the use of organic fertilizers, primarily compost, that enrich the soil with essential macro and micronutrients, enhance microbial activity, and improve overall soil structure, thereby contributing to the long-term vitality and balance of the vineyard ecosystem. While pruned vine canes represent a valuable carbon source, direct shredding them into the vineyard is not advisable for several reasons. They may increase the risks of spreading trunk diseases and other pathogens. The high lignin content slows humification processes in the soil, as woody material is harder for soil microbiota to decompose. A large amount of green cover is required to balance the high carbon to nitrogen ratio and support proper microbial breakdown. Although they contribute with organic matter, they lack in the beneficial microbial communities found in mature compost, which are essential for soil regeneration and biological activity. At Poder l'Essentiel, the improvement of OM content involves the use of on-site produced compost, considered as the most effective soil revitalization strategy. This practice not only improves soil fertility and health, but also strengthens sustainability efforts by reducing dependence on external inputs, minimizing waste, and tailoring compost composition to the specific nutritional requirements of the vineyard. Compost made from vine prunings processed directly on the estate is rich in humified microorganisms, billions of beneficial microbes that have already digested complex compounds such as cellulose and lignin. As a result, this compost is particularly efficient at breaking down green cover residues. It functions as a true microbiological reservoir, serving as an exceptional tool for revitalizing the soil and stimulating its biological activity. Poder l'Essentiel produces its own compost on site using pruning residues from vineyards and olive groves, along with grape pomace and stems. The adopted operational methods include raking of the pruning residues outside the vineyard and shredding them on the headland using a bioshredder, pruning shredder with a hopper, creating a compost pile in a suitable area, ideally partially shaded during the day to avoid direct sunlight, harmful for microorganisms while maintaining a proper surface-to-volume ratio, turning of the compost pile, essential to promote complete humification, ensuring proper aeration while encouraging uniform microbial activity and preventing anaerobic conditions that could hinder the decomposition process. The transformation time is closely linked to the number of turnings. To start the pile, it is necessary to water it generously with plenty of water during the turnings, especially in dry periods. Regular turning is crucial to ensure temperature uniformity within the mass and to promote even fermentation throughout the pile. When using the compost in autumn, it is useful to leave a portion behind as a starter to help initiate the pile for the following year. The estate does not produce the annual amount of compost needed for all the vineyards, mainly because to achieve a good ameliorating effect, it must be applied in high doses per unit area. The compost is spread in the interrows along the rows in generous quantities, at least 2 to 3 kilograms per square meter, on a regular basis. The adopted strategy is to distribute all the compost over approximately 1/3 of the estate's vineyards, rotating the application to complete the cycle in 5 years. In the poorer areas, it may happen that compost application is repeated for 2 consecutive years.